Friends, Romans, and Patriots, lend me your ears and strap on your tinfoil hats because we're back on YouTube for the Gay Frog Chat tonight.
Hell yeah.
How long has it been, man? It's been like 90 days, something like that. It's been actually a little bit less because I got one strike, and then it was like 2 weeks later I got a second strike, and then I haven't been doing chats since I got the second strike. So it's been, 80 days, something like that, since I've been on YouTube doing chats, actually doing it. So here we are again tonight. We are back on YouTube. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Thanks for sticking with me, everybody who was coming over to Rumble and watching the chats on Rumble, because, as you know, we did not stop doing the chats, but I don't know, man. It's been kind of a ride, but I'm glad to be back. Tonight for the Gay Frog Chat, I thought we'd talk a little bit about where we are with our own personal preps, what kind of things that we expect coming in the future, like job expectations. Do you plan on perhaps switching jobs or being laid off potentially if things get bad financially with the economy? I don't know, like what kind of mental shit are you guys dealing with right now that's weighing you down, like that kind of stuff. So that being said, hope everybody out there is doing well tonight. We're joined by Duke Liberty. How you doing, Mr. Duke?
Yo, baby. Doing good. Thanks for having me here.
Dookie Duke.
We got Corey Long in the house.
How's it going, everyone?
Yeah. We got a Wicked Dealer.
What's up?
And Mr. Never Enough Ammo himself. How do you do, Mr. Ammo?
Penis.
Yeah. Dude, we played through
2 minutes.
Shredder's Revenge last night. That was pretty fun.
What do you think I'm playing right now?
Yeah, I saw you open it, you fucker. Duke, you got to get that, by the way. Shredder's Revenge is pretty fun.
Oh, we had a ball.
What?
Steam. So it's up to 6 players. It's like an arcade-style game, like the old-school, like, arcade Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game. But completely different, like, levels and stuff, and, like, the bosses and everything are all redone. It's not a big file. It doesn't take a lot of space. It's actually pretty fun. They did a good job. Tom F. dropped in $10 before we even started and said, welcome back. Thanks, Tom. That's fucking awesome. As did Jay Bean. Dropped in $10 and said, Rumble sucks. Welcome back. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. And it's nice to be back. It's nice to have the channel still going. That's why I did it that way, is because if I had just kept doing chats on YouTube, like, sure, they would have been on YouTube, but there's a very good chance that at some point in the last 80 days or whatever it's been that I would have had another strike, and then I wouldn't have a channel anymore, and that would kind of suck. I mean, not to say I've worked like fucking hard on this shit or anything, but I put some work into this, and it's been a lot of time spent fucking doing things for the channel. And goddamn, I went to DC, I went to fucking California, like I went all over the fucking place. And Daniel dropped in $2. Said, "Oh, no more dollar night with Handler." Travis says, Rumble does suck. I hope they get better. Yeah, I mean, they're still working on it, and I'm not giving up on them. I'm going to still... I forgot to set it up so I would simulcast to them, but I'm going to be simulcasting to Rumble most of my chats just because, why not? Have a backup, have something going on the side.
It's always good to have a backup plan.
So speaking of backup plans... do you guys have anything that you want to talk about as far as what you've been up to, trying to get ready for the inevitable flood that's coming? Like Noah's Ark, or you're building your boat. Do you have wood yet? Like that kind of shit?
Sure. I'll start. I think it's a shift for me. So it's like, okay, COVID was, I think COVID and mid-COVID, post-COVID era, it was like guns and ammo. I think we were concerned about that kind of stuff, and I have shifted total focus from guns and ammo to complete food and medicine prep. And from there, now it's gone from that to unloading more collectible stuff to buy more precious metals, food, and have cash on hand. That's my focus. It's less about guns and ammo and more about those things to get through what I perceive as the fall of the dollar at best. At worst, the complete collapse of our whole economy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they're already talking double-digit inflation right now, which is insane. Like, double-digit inflation means you're talking a decade plus of traditional inflation, which is already, not really acceptable in my opinion. You shouldn't have inflation if an economy is run correctly and the currency is done correctly. It should have a stable fucking value. But being that the average over the past 90 years is a 1% drop in the value of the dollar annually, you get a double-digit fucking inflation in a 1 year period of time. That's insane, dude.
Yeah, and what makes me more worried than anything is that no one at the top is putting any sort of brakes on this. Like, Biden discredits it completely this week when someone brought it up about inflation and a recession. He's like, "What are you, some scared Republican?" Ha ha ha. And politics aside, he's not even I'll give Obama credit for stuff like this, as much as I don't want to give him credit for anything. At least Obama would come out and give a speech, talk about what he's going to do, put some calm some people's nerves, show some leadership. We have none of that. There's zero chance of that happening. So are we in a free fall and we don't even know it yet? We don't know the true effects of what's going to happen. We talked about this 2 years ago when COVID was going on, about how we weren't even close to feeling the effects of the COVID, of the stimulus checks. That's what this is. And I don't think we've still not seen the full effect. So we're on this is like a bad thing. Depression era type situation.
Shit's getting serious and real quick, real fast.
I just don't see.
And when they're looking at that 10% number, right? We're going to be looking at 10% inflation. That's using new metrics that they just came up with to hide the true fucking actual horror, or I don't know what word you would choose, but they did it different in the 70s, right? And they had close to a 10%, or I guess it was even higher than 10% in the 70s inflation rate for a short period of time, right? But that was using the old method. If they use the same method today, it would be more like double what they're saying. So when they're saying 10%, it really means 20.
Right. And I don't see this fixing itself anytime soon. We're going to continue to fall. And these housing prices are crazy. And that's as soon as that falls, and people's houses that they bought and can't afford anymore, and I don't know. I don't. This isn't going to go well at all.
No,
this is going to go bad. And I'm not talking bad 2008 bad. I'm talking making the Depression look good. I mean, because what happens when there's just no money and there's no food, and put everything together, the economy, the food shortages that are coming, all of that together just is crazy.
It's gonna be mass chaos, or like that movie Purge. Shit's gonna be like that. It's gonna be fucking nuts.
Dude, I watched a documentary about, and I forget the name of the expedition or whatever, but it was a British expedition in the 1800s where they were trying to find a northern route to go to China, because they figured there was probably a way around the fucking North Pole and they could navigate it, right? So they sent two big ass ships, huge motherfucking ships, out to the Arctic with hundreds of dudes and cows, and they had like 5 years worth of food, like canned food ready to go and all this shit so that they could fucking like do an expedition and find their way through. Well, long story short, as they're going through, the fucking ships freeze over and get stuck. And eventually the dudes fucking abandon ship and try to walk across the fucking North Pole to like civilization, right? The cans of food that they had with them were hastily packaged to the lowest bidder. So they were like, they had lead all up in them and stuff, and they weren't sealed correctly, and most of them went bad, and like all of this other stuff. So they ended up not making it very far, like 200 miles south, before they had to like stop and they had to dig in and like try to survive. Eventually they started eating each other because they ran out of food. No one survived. Not one single. Well, I guess there were 5 people who survived the whole thing because they got off of the boat before they left because they were sick. Everyone else who was part of the expedition died. And they were like, I don't know, like the Admiralty Lord of this and that, who were like well regarded in British society as upstanding citizens with fucking this and that going for them. And then it ended up, they got hungry enough, they ate each other. They fucking cannibalized each other, like boiled the bones to eat the marrow out of the bones in the middle of nowhere and the fucking North Pole, kind of, right? And when the fucking evidence and news came back to England that this is what happened to like the best and the brightest, I mean, these guys were like astronauts, right? Like they were the kind of people like today that you would send out on a mission to Mars or something, which was basically the equivalent of back then what they were doing. Like gone for a long time. You're gone for years. You're not going to see anybody. You're going in the name of our country. You're carrying our flag. And you ate each other. Like, fuck.
Yeah.
Things can get bad, dude. Things can get bad. And thankfully, we're not living on the North Pole where it's just destitute and nothing. You can figure something out if you have nothing, maybe. I mean, even if it's like eating fucking tadpoles and bugs and shit. But
there's so many people. Like I that are so they're unable to care for themselves. That's why this whole, I don't know. I mean, they're unable to even prepare for themselves in any way or such a form because they can't manage. Like, hey, I shouldn't have 10 kids because I don't have a job, and I shouldn't spend all my money because I should save some of my money so I can make sure my kids can eat, and so I can have a car to provide for myself. Like, they can't even figure out life in this real easy way of doing things. They live totally off the state, unable to manage their weight, their needs, their wants, their lifestyle, their mental health. They're not able to manage any of that. What do you think is going to happen when it's hard? When it really is hard? When things aren't easy?
Or what do you think is going to happen when the state misses a payment?
Yeah.
Like 1 week's or 1 month's fucking food stamps and, like health insurance that they give out for free and free money that you get if you're on disability or whatever it is, you know. Like, 1 month they mess that up. They can't pay people or whatever. Pandemonium instantly.
Yeah.
Yep.
And what happens when you're not staying here for free anymore? Like, you don't get to live here for free because things have been hard for you, and we're going to be nice because it's so hard for you to function in this free society that we're going to give you extra free things to make it easy. What happens when that ends? Because it will end. Because once we figure this out and figure out that, listen, this ain't going to happen no more. There's no more free rides. Yeah, what happens then?
Well, it's a house of cards, Duke, is exactly what it is. It's being held up by the mere fact that no wind has come along with a hard enough blow to push it over. That no one's come along and fucking taken a card away from the base in a spot that it needs it. Mm-hmm. And that it still stands today as a miracle, in a way.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. That fall is coming, and it's going to be so fucking hard on so many people.
How soon do you think that will happen? Like with your analogy, Honda, of the Titanic, where do you think we are now with everything going on?
Oh, geez, man. I think some of the lifeboats have started to be loaded up and dropped into the water, not full of people, is where we're at.
Yep. Perfect analogy.
Yep.
And there's still people drinking.
Yep.
And
there's
laughing.
still people sleeping in their cabins. There's still people who are in denial. There's the band setting up to distract the people and keep everyone calm. Like all that stuff is going on.
But there's lifeboats, and they know that they should have been filled all the way, and they're not. That's a perfect analogy of where we're at. People are, I think it's going to get very hard very soon.
Well, and the timing of that, as you were asking, Corey. Okay, so this year's crop, what they're growing right now in the fields, I think is going to be dismally underperforming as for other years. Reasons being price of diesel, price of fertilizer, and the available finances of a lot of the smaller farmers and stuff like that. They're not going to be able to afford as much as they need. So they're going to make do with what they have. So their production is going to be lower than what it should have been or what it could be on a normal year. And then you combine that with the bigger companies that have huge ass fucking industrial farms. Yeah, they're going to buy all the diesel they need. Yes, they're going to have all the fertilizer that they need. They're going to grow everything that they need. But they're going to charge you for it. It's going to be as expensive as it ever has been for like a can of corn or, your loaf of bread, or God forbid you want a steak, like that kind of shit. Everything's going to be way more expensive. And I think that's going to be a huge issue moving forward, even if everything else stays the same. Even if like the dollar suddenly stabilizes and gas doesn't go up any further and all that other stuff, like, Ukraine, we just pull out and don't fucking do anything else, and we end sanctions with Russia and get all of our shit back and start producing oil. Like everything else goes perfectly. That alone, even a temporary food shortage, you're gonna see riots in the street. I think you're gonna see people fucking angry and upset, lashing out, fucking being crazy. I don't even know, man. But that's gonna be before. Well, it'll be winter, pretty much, right?
Yeah.
I've actually been buying a lot of meat and vacuum sealing it and putting it in my big old deep freeze.
I think I think the summer plays out with as much of keep going, nothing going on here. I think that's what we're gonna get through the summer. We'll get more bread and circus like we've got this week. That's all this is bread and circus. That's what the whole Supreme Court thing was. I guarantee it. To get people thinking about something else and infighting. Okay,
so someone in the chat's saying that, like, what if we're in Lord of the Rings? Like, what part of the book, what part of the series are we? So you could go from The Hobbit all the way to like the end of the Lord of the Rings when the ring gets thrown into the fucking volcano. So that would be like, okay, ultimately everything is resolved and things start getting better. That would be that point. But that point is preceded by like the darkest hour ever. You know what I mean? Like as bad as it could possibly get. So at what point does it turn around, I guess? Second, but first, what part of that story are we at?
Like, that's a hard, because there's ups and downs in that. Like, the Titanic's perfect because it's a disaster.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's more apt,
like,
probably.
Like, okay, we are balls deep into Helm's Deep, and everyone's dead, and we're in the inner court, and we're surrounded by Uruk-hai. And it's 2 hours before daybreak or something. I don't know. Like, that's like the darkest time, right?
Are the horses gonna charge over the hill and save us?
I don't even know. Like, Gandalf is dead. Like, I don't know. Like, we're just after Gandalf died, and the hobbits were all crying, and you're trying to console us.
Was Gandalf fucking Trump?
Yeah, Yeah, so he died, and we're
Wait,
all
so-
crying.
Gandalf the White's gonna come back.
Yeah, so I guess that's where we're at.
Okay, I like.
But the Balrog took Gandalf, and he hasn't come back to save us yet, so we're all sad. We're crying, and give
Wait,
the
does that-
hobbits a little bit more time, for pity's sake.
Does that mean Biden is the Balrog?
No, that was just the angry left, represented by the Balrog. Biden is who is he? Like Grima Wormtongue or something? Like that's who he is. Or he's like fucked up Theoden, getting whispered to.
Matt, who's Biden in the Hobbit universe?
Remember that big fucking spider?
Shalob.
The one in the passage right by Mordor
Yeah.
that stabbed that had a stinger for some reason. Spiders don't have stingers. That's fucking
No.
fake. God
Either
damn.
that or he's fucking Schmeagol. Just so old and so fucking gone that, like, he's just insane. He's gonna start biting fingers off and shit.
I mean, that's a good one.
He could be like the geriatric retarded mouth of Sora.
The ring is the presidency. He's just been searching for it for so fucking long, and now he's just insane, and he just wants it. He doesn't even know why he wants it anymore. He can't handle it.
Well, he's Denethor. That's what he is. He's Denethor. Crazy ass Denethor.
Which one was Denethor?
The steward of Gondor.
Oh,
Faramir
yeah.
and Boromir's father.
Who tried to fucking burn his son alive?
Yeah, and we're the son. That's America. Faramir is America. Rain wood and oil. We burn like the ones of the old. And we're
good.
And we're the Pippins trying to say, no, don't burn him. He's still alive.
Yeah, we are the hobbits in the situation, right? Like,
Yeah.
powerless to do anything, at the will of the fucking powers that should not be, doing whatever it is that they want to do.
Yep.
Rolling over the land like a steamroller, you know. Tara Smith's Kitchen dropped in $5 and said, World War II, Russia had a PSA telling citizens that it is not okay to eat their children. They ate shoe leather. They ate everything. Well, there's pictures of people in Soviet Russia with a table full of body parts that it turns out are their own children that they're selling as if it was a market. Yes.
That's
So,
fucked up.
You can make a law, but that doesn't mean that people are going to follow it. And again, like those people on that ship who were trying to find the North Passage or whatever, who ate each other, like that was like a cardinal sin. Like that was like the ultimate evil thing that you could do is eat somebody. There's nothing worse than being a cannibal.
Well,
And that's what the best of them did. That's what like the fucking Lord Admiralty did, was eat people to survive. Like the Doctor ate people to survive. And the thing that they would do is they'd cut off their feet, their hands, and their head. Those are all the parts that you could identify as human, and then they would butcher the rest. And yeah, it's fucking insane what they would do. Well, it's not insane. It was perfectly sane given the fucking circumstances, wasn't it?
Wasn't
Right.
there like a plane crash of like some kind of sports team, soccer players or something like that crashed in the
Chile.
mountains?
In Chile. Yep.
Yeah, they ate each other.
Yeah, but those dudes, not everyone died. Like there was the two dudes who fucking hiked their way out eating like fucking human body fat on the way to like keep going, and there was a couple people who they eventually found still at the crash site, you know?
Yeah, but those people only ate people that had already died. That
And
is
that's-
another difference, I guess.
Mhm.
They didn't like kill anybody.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like they don't really know though the thing about that Northwest Passage ship fucking thing, because everyone died. All they found was like bodies and shit, so
Yeah.
they don't really know what happened. Like there was one note that they found, and it was like, on this day we gave up the boat and we left for shore, and like basically didn't say anything about anything after that. You know what I mean?
It's fucking crazy. We're eating everybody, motherfucker.
Like, don't write that down.
Yeah. Stop writing that shit down, Night Strike. We don't need people remembering that we ate Jolly, and no, we ain't doing that.
Thank you, Captain Literal.
Oh my god.
Lordy. Frodo is Trump? Says
No.
Damian Cortez.
No. Well,
It's definitely
I
Gandalf.
mean,
He
Frodo didn't do a fucking thing.
Yeah, Samwise Gamgee is like the man, the dude that was getting business done. So
Frodo was just the douche nozzle that could hold onto the ring for the longest. He didn't actually do anything like heroic.
Except for when someone tried to take the ring away from him. Then
Oh, yeah. Well, then I don't know if that's heroic, but you certainly like, get away from it. You do that shit. Don't touch the ring. Oh, okay, Frodo.
I mean, Boromir had, at least he was trying to do something with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, nobody gives Boromir any fucking credit.
Dude got shot with like 5 Lurtz arrows, which were roughly the size of my arm, and kept fighting, saving the house.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, but he tried to take the ring for 5 seconds, and that made Frodo get fucking pussed out and run away. So,
yeah,
it's all his fault, really.
Poor Sean Bean. Fucker dies and everything.
But that was such a. That, you could not cast that any better. There's no one in that whole movie where you're like, not really feeling this. Everyone is perfect. Everyone.
So when that whole Northwest this is kind of an interesting fact. That Northwest Passage thing happened. Eventually, they sent some ships to go like look for the crews of these 2 ships that they sent up there, and then one of them got stuck and sunk, right? And then, like, I don't know, some years later, the American Navy went up there and got the ship from the bottom of the ocean, which wasn't that deep down. It was, shallow enough they could get to it, and, like, raised the ship up and gave it back to England as a present. And then England took the wood from that ship and made desks out of it and sent it to, like, all the different countries. And that's the desk that...
The Resolute desk.
Yep. That's the ship, was the Resolute. There you go. There you go, buddy.
I've seen National Treasure. Don't fuck with me. I know my history.
As long as it's in the form of a movie where you learned it.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, that movie is historically accurate.
On this day, we celebrate our independence. Wait, what?
Greatest president of the United States.
Are they doing another one?
God, I hope not, because that last one was bad. Wait, what are we talking about? Independence Day or fucking
National Treasure?
Oh yes, they're doing a show, a TV series on Disney Plus.
Sorry, President Camacho is the greatest president of the United States.
No, he's not. He sucked.
No, he didn't.
He was perfectly. He was the President Biden of the fictional world.
Wait, which one was Camacho? What movie is that from?
That's from Idiocracy.
Oh yeah, I like the president from.
It's got electrolytes.
I like the president from.
But it did
from L.A.
No, Escape from New York.
He's like the president. He's like Trump, and his daughter gets fucking all hung up on, I don't know, some dude's dick or something, and fucking runs away. And then he starts a war.
Yeah, I was gonna say something, and then I thought that would be wrong. So I forgot you're not on the Rumble anymore.
Yeah, we'll try to be a little good if we can. I mean, you don't want to get a strike right away, right?
No.
That's why I'm afraid to even scroll down on Twitter. That's how I got one of them last time. Was like a video of a car crash with a kid in it. And like, oh, you got a strike, Honda, because you're a fucking child-hating bigot who likes to see death and destruction. Like, no, I was scrolling through fucking Twitter. It was okay with Twitter's rules. Why isn't it okay with yours? I don't know. Fuck off. Andrew Jackson. Who's the best American president?
It's either Washington or Coolidge, in my opinion. For different reasons. They were very different. They were both the presidents that were needed at the time. They're very different presidents.
Calvin Coolidge. What did Coolidge do? What was he responsible for?
Well, he gave us the Roaring '20s. He was the most economically and fiscally conservative and responsible president we've ever had. Period. End of story. He cut the budget, or he cut the debt in half, and then cut it in half again, and then cut it in half again. He gave us again the Roaring '20s. Got us out of the most evil president we ever had. What's his face? Woodrow Wilson.
Woodrow.
He got us out of all his corrupt buddy shit with the fucking banks and all the shit that Coolidge, or that he got us caught up in. And
well, not really. We still have a fucking Federal Reserve Bank, which was...
Well, he did what he could at the time. I mean, the Federal Reserve already existed. Like,
Woodrow Wilson was put in by those people. Like those people, the banksters who have money, paid for his campaign, knowing that once he was in office, he would owe them a favor. And sure enough, they fucking set off in the middle of like a holiday. It was like right around Christmas. They all met and fucking did a vote when only like 20 people were there, and passed it with 20 votes because all their people were there. And then fucking Coolidge signed it into fucking law. And it's been there ever since. And anyone who tries to fight against it fucking ends up, let's say, not winning because we're on YouTube. Oh, Jesus. I still want to know what the fuck Epstein knew. Like his fucking black book. You know, like all the information that always gets fucking leaked by the FBI to the media about this person or this arrest that's coming up or that thing or whatever it is, right? This information always seems to get out. But when it comes to actually important information that you really should fucking be able to know, like who the fuck was in Jeffrey Epstein's black book, the names of the people and all that different stuff, and like maybe perhaps some of the information about them that, hey, we have, like, I don't need to see the video of him fucking doing things with an underage girl or whatever. That's fine. I really don't want to see that. But to know that, like, a Bill Clinton of the world or whoever has that in evidence somewhere and is going to answer for it in court would be really nice. It would be really nice. To know that
it's not going to happen, but, you know, it'd be nice.
It's like, aren't they pushing it back? Ghislaine court hearing for some odd reason, and
because
people are saying she's going to be next.
She's on suicide watch now.
Yeah.
Oh, that's reassuring.
Yeah,
because that always goes so well. The guards
Right.
always stay awake, and
yeah. What happened to those guards anyway? Did they ever get charged with anything for falsifying documents and being asleep on the clock and letting a fucking high-profile fucking individual kill himself with a paper bed sheet?
Well,
Somehow?
didn't they get Epstein too?
That's what we're talking about.
I know that. I'm saying, didn't they get
The same treatment.
Epstein?
Oh, I don't know. Did they? That's a good question. Anybody out there know? I'm not sure about that one.
No, they didn't.
I thought they initially got charged, and then the charges just magically went away. And like the funny thing is, according to I forget what it was, they had some sort of like internet history on their Google searches or something, and they were all like seeing how much money they could spend on nice cars and shit like that, right when that was happening too. Kind of fucking weird coincidence. But yeah, I don't think they got charged with anything. I think the charges did get dropped, if I remember correctly.
I think Ghislaine should spill her guts right now before she gets Epstein.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's the only safe way to go at a point. I mean, it's either you play ball all the way and you go to your grave playing ball, in which case, like, you're part of the group and they like you. Or you're a target of the group, I guess the only thing you can do is just spill your guts, get on camera, get on the internet, whatever it is, and just tell everybody everything. PlainNut767 says, I believe the guards copped pleas and got suspended sentences of less than 1 year. Yeah, it was something like that. Where they basically didn't have, compared to the crime that was committed, like they're accomplices to murder, in my opinion. Allegedly. I don't know. Whatever you have to say for the YouTube gods to not fucking take that literally, but yeah. Kids playing in the ocean in 1896. They really film this and just fucking color it in, like back color it or something? What are they doing with those fucking are they trying to catch fish with those things?
Playing or working in the ocean. Those good old child labor laws back then.
That's crazy, man. That might be the oldest recording I've ever seen. Oh god. Yeah, and then you got stuff like this, like going back to like where we're at right now, right? With the level of tension in our society today where you can't even have a conversation with someone who's on the other side of the aisle than you because the languages don't even line up. And you have a Supreme Court decision, and you have a left-wing confederacy who's basically chanting for insurrection against the federal government on the basis that the Supreme Court is not valid or something, as if that's okay, when at the same time they're holding January 6th commissions about holding up the fucking Senate for 5 minutes while they were having a vote. I don't know, man. It seems a little fucking crazy to me right now.
Hypocrisy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's how you downfall a society, is you have hypocrisy in the application of law. You have groups of people who are targeted by the law unjustly or disproportionately. And I mean, we've had that in this country for a long time, but now we're seeing it on a whole new fucking side of the coin. You know what I mean?
Well, it's okay when they do it. We can't do it, but it's okay for them.
Well, I mean, they had a thug show up at a Supreme Court justice's house with zip ties and weapons trying to fucking kidnap him and his family. And CNN didn't even report on it. Well, at the same time, they're running live stream of the entire fucking January 6th commission as if it's fucking newsworthy. And that's just a joke, dude. And honestly is political theater, and it needs to be called out for what it is, which is fucking 100% bullshit. And moreover, the people who are still in prison who got let into the Capitol building and stayed between the velvet ropes and took pictures and smiled and left, who were still being persecuted by the federal government. I don't know what the answer is to that. But they need to be let go immediately. The charges need to be dropped against them immediately, and the fucking bullshit charade around that needs to fucking go away. But it's not going to, is it? They're going to keep pushing it home, just like they did Trump Russia for 3 years, just like they did fucking Sandy Hook, just like they did the Covington kids, just like they did fucking what was that guy's name? Trayvon Martin, and what's that other dude's name? The Hispanic guy who shot him.
Zimmerman.
Yeah, Zimmerman. Like the Zimmerman case. Like if you actually look at the facts of that case, there's a lot more to it than the media was telling you. Or Rittenhouse. It's an even better example. There's still people out there. There's still people out there who think Rittenhouse killed 3 black people in cold blood and got away with it because there's an unjust court system. Or George Floyd, who was on fucking heroin and fucking methamphetamines at the time. Yeah, well, fentanyl, heroin. Yeah, it was fentanyl and fucking methamphetamine.
Yep.
Died of a heart attack, and they were like, "Well, that's obviously the police." Dude, the guy's in prison right now. The police officer,
Chauvin or however.
And then, I mean, I don't support the police, but how many good people are going to want to become cops if, like someone dies of a fentanyl overdose while you're trying to arrest them and you end up in prison for it?
And of course, he's gonna be in solitaire.
I mean, it was the prison overdose and the stepping on the back of his neck for 9.5 minutes. I mean, that might have had something to do with it.
Maybe.
I mean, I'm just saying, when even the EMTs show up and they're like, "Dude, stop!" and the other cop, there's like, there might be something to do with it, regardless of what shit he had in his system. Like, just throwing that out there. Like, there's no, I don't give a shit what the scenario is. Like, unless the dude's trying to kill you, like, you don't fucking sit on the back of somebody's neck for 9 minutes when you're a fucking cop. Like, I couldn't even get away with doing that. Like, I'd be better off just shooting somebody and saying they tried to kill me.
The point is that it's the disinformation that's going on around it that people still believe and don't even know the real information about it. And while, yes, you're right, standing on his neck and doing what they did was wrong, that alone wouldn't have killed him. It didn't block off his airway, right? Like, yes, they shouldn't have done that. I agree. But there's other pieces of information and like little bits about that whole situation that if you ask someone who's really upset about the whole thing, won't even know. Don't even know, because it's not part of the fucking political media that
So the thing about that situation isn't the discussion of whether or not what the cop. So there's two sides of that. There's the discussion about whether or not what the cops did led to him dying, versus whether or not there are other things that should be taken into consideration that contributed. The fact of the matter is there were both. There were other things that contributed, and what they did directly led to him dying. The reason that it's wrong for just from a police action perspective is they're the fucking cops, okay? And guess what? If a dude's ODing, I don't give a shit what the fuck he's fucking doing. You don't get to fucking put him on his fucking chest and kneel on him in 3 different fucking places, including his fucking back, his upper back, and the back of his neck while he's fucking ODing, because you're gonna fucking kill him. And your responsibility is not to just fucking kill people because you fucking want to. Your responsibility is to suck it up, put your big boy pants on, do what the fucking taxpayers are paying you to do, and keep this motherfucker alive. And they didn't fucking do that. They directly contributed to him fucking dying. Their job is to deal with people who may be ODing, who may be unreasonable, who may have fucking weapons, okay? And there are only certain scenarios in which they are allowed to actually fucking kill somebody. This wasn't one of them.
I will give you every single point that you just said. But does that then make it okay for what happened next? Does that make the media fucking portrayal of everything?
No, not at all. The way they handled it was situation so wrong and so inflammatory, and they were trying to stoke the fire in the public eye. They were trying to cause division. They were trying to cause. They did. Yeah,
they did stoke the fire.
I believe that every person that got injured and hurt and all this shit and all these fucking stupid riots is directly contributable to the media. And as I've said before, you want to go out there because George Floyd died and flip fucking cop cars and fuck with, I don't give a shit. Fuck cops. I don't give a fuck. But then when, all this other shit and they were stoking the flames of fucking, racism and, fuck white people and giving people permission to fucking loot and riot and just assault people. And, like the one dude who just ran through a fucking parade and killed 8 people or 7 people or whatever the fuck it was, like that's all the media doing that, because they didn't come out and say, look, this is the situation. This is how it's being handled. These are the facts. It was racism. Like it was just instantly to whatever could get as many people pissed off and mad and upset for political purposes as humanly possible in that moment.
And what are they doing right now when it comes to Roe versus Wade?
Same fucking thing.
It's a political playbook, and they're using the media of this country like a tool, like a fiddle to play the music that they want to play, right? They're Devil went down to Georgia. The fucking devil's having his fucking go right now, you know?
None of them motherfuckers are getting held accountable for inciting violence.
Nope.
And they won't. And then the moment that the shoe's on the other foot, and it's like, for whatever reason, insert the reason here, that our side gets upset and somebody does anything, not even the whole group, just an individual from the group goes too far, which will happen, then who gets blamed for it? The entire fucking group. People are held accountable for things that they didn't even do. They're putting on fucking tribunals and fucking keeping people in prison indefinitely and doing all these different things as long as they can within the fucking limits of the law that they are creating and executing. So there's all kinds of different ways to bend it and make things worse for people and fuck people over even harder. Like, for instance, the January 6 people who were in prison, they'd have a meeting through a glass window over a phone with a fucking attorney, and then they would have to be put in solitary confinement for 2 weeks afterwards because of COVID, quote unquote. Other prisoners, that wasn't happening to. But if you're a January 6 defendant and you want to see a fucking lawyer, you better pay the price. I mean, this shit's insane, dude. And it's not funny, and people don't know about it on the other side. Like, people don't know about any of this stuff. Not people here, like, obviously, like, we're talking about it, but there's a big group of people in this country who are politically active, mind you, who like to think that they're well informed, who fucking have an opinion about everything, and it's a very strong opinion, and they're ready to get violent about it, know nothing about this stuff because they choose not to. It's completely accessible information. There's nothing stopping people from looking things up. It's just a matter of like, well, that's the source that I don't like, therefore I won't listen to it, or it supports something that I fucking disagree with, so therefore I will not fucking echo this message or even absorb it.
Yeah. Well, shit, when you've got what's the guy's name from Ferguson, Michael fuck was his name?
Michael Brown.
Brown. When you've got even his dad coming out, and I'm not making a judgment on the Michael Brown scenario because that was very, very different from the other one that we were just talking about. George Floyd. But the fact of the matter is, when you look at all this stuff that's going on, and when you look at what the media is putting out there, and you look at everything that these groups are getting involved in, and how they stoke the flames and all this other bullshit, and then you've got Michael Brown's own father coming out and saying BLM is a fucking crooked organization. They raised millions and millions of dollars directly in the name of my son and gave nothing to his family, did nothing, just raised a bunch of money for themselves and did all this shit, and are doing nothing but promoting themselves with the names of these dead people. And, all this shit. You've even got people who are not, I don't want to listen to Fox News. Well, will you listen to Michael Brown's dad? Because he's out there being very public. He's trying to sue BLM for this shit that's going on. And BLM's doing the same fucking thing the media is. BLM and the media are working hand in hand, fucking with all this shit.
Right.
So,
and you can say that there's no conspiracy out there or whatever, right? But you cannot look at the coordination between these giant media conglomerates that have the power that they have, that are all spouting the same message about various things, whether it's Pfizer shit or fucking Roe versus Wade shit or race shit or whatever it is going on in America right now, that they're all on the same page on, that all seems to be stirring the pot, that there's not some coordination there. You cannot fucking say that to me and me believe you at this point.
Honda, there's not some coordination there.
I don't believe you. Like I said, you can say it to me, but that doesn't, you can even come with some evidence that I don't know about. Maybe you could change my mind. I doubt it. Go ahead and try, please.
No, I couldn't. I couldn't make a convincing argument. I don't believe it myself. So
apparently I'm a racist, according to AK Lover.
Well, you are, but that's okay.
I'm just a product of the world and how it's treated me, Matt. If anything, it's the world's fault.
Said every BLM protester and rioter.
Hey, man, I'm not advocating for violence against anybody. Honestly, like, The only violence that I advocate for is violence that is used in self-defense. And I don't think that people should be putting themselves in positions where they need to use that necessarily. It's more like, fuck, I have to use it. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, Rittenhouse. Was he right? Yes. Did he do the right thing at that moment in time? Yes. Should he have been there? Probably not.
He should not have been there.
Do you remember
So-
watching that together?
Yep.
That was crazy.
Dude, I totally called out Rosenbaum before he got shot.
Yeah. We all sat there and said, wow, that dude's going to get shot. And he was screaming at them to shoot him.
Yeah, I was like, that guy's a troublemaker. Look out for him. Something's going to
Yeah.
happen with him. Like, he's out to cause trouble tonight.
There's so much about that situation where I'm like, why are you guys there? Like, just leave. Oh my gosh, it's such a horrible situation that you put yourself in. Surrounded by a bunch of angry people who are, oh my gosh. And there was like no line of like who's who. They were all just getting surrounded. Ugh. Gosh.
Whose fault was that whole thing? Do you think? Like the whole situation, the fact that there was like riotous. They weren't protesters. It was a riot that happened for
Right.
several nights in a row in a city that wasn't prepared for it. Like whose fault was that?
I would say there's several people to blame in that one, starting with the
Yeah.
mayor and the city council.
But there's no way I'm standing out there for some props for some dude's gas station. Like, I'm sorry, even like if you owned a gas station, I don't know, maybe it's different for that. Maybe I'm gonna stand out there for that. But even the gas station dude was like, I didn't ask him to be there. And I'm sure he said that after the fact. But like, it's got to be somebody really important for me to go. And then even then, I'm like, dude, is it worth our lives? Don't you got insurance?
Yeah.
Because there's other than like my own family, would I stand and dig in for my own property, my own house?
What if it was your brother-in-law's gas station?
Now, see, I guess it's then it's a little different, and then you're calling the homies because
Yeah.
you want a lot of dudes. But then I'm like, I don't know. I'm getting sandbags. I'm getting sea wire. We're getting some avenues or something set up.
I
Not
mean,
just
it's
gaggle-
rooftop Korean time.
Yeah, not just a bunch of gaggle fucks standing around with AR-15s and chest plates, like just standing there arguing with people. But then again, it's property. Like, I'm fine with property being damaged. I got insurance. I'm not gonna like risk going to jail forever over a bunch of people throwing bricks and Molotov cocktails. And the
Dude, what
optics of me eating them is gonna be horrible. So I'm not gonna do it.
What are the odds that like Rittenhouse, if he was put in the exact same position with Rosenbaum and then running away and getting hit with the skateboard and hitting the guy with the skateboard in the fucking bicep and tagging the other guy and shit, that no one else would have gotten hurt and that he wouldn't have fucking gotten knocked out and got his gun taken? Like, what are the odds that he made it through unscathed again? If he had to do it 100 times, how many times would he make it out?
None.
Right.
That was luck. That was a cool head, and that was being semi-proficient. I mean, I'm not like knocking him. He did a lot better than a lot of people,
especially for his age.
Yeah, but a lot of that had to do with I don't know. I don't think that's something that he would get through 4 times out of 100.
And he did that while clearing a jam.
Yeah. I mean,
Did they ever prosecute that other guy that initiated it, that shot a round off in the air? Him and his sister.
His
I can't
trial,
remember.
I think, is still coming out. So yeah, like, I don't know. As far as I can tell, he should be charged with like involuntary secondary manslaughter for Rosenbaum, because Kyle was running away, gunshot in the air. Kyle turns around, dude reaches for the gun, he shoots him. Right? If that gunshot had not gone off right then, maybe it wouldn't have gone like that. You could argue that in court, and you could hold him potentially liable for the results.
And what about Gage? Have they ever decided if they're gonna charge him with anything? Since he actually pointed a gun at Kyle's head right before he got shot.
They all cut deals for everything.
I think he got a deal with fucking Binger. Binger fucking basically, as the assistant lead prosecutor for the county, has the ability to make those kinds of deals in order for testimony in a bigger case or whatever. So yeah, he got a deal. Fucking, I'm pretty sure whatever the other guy's name is who shot the fucking
Minsky.
roundup, he got it. He's probably not going to get as bad of a deal because he didn't even have to testify. That was the thing, because they didn't want his testimony in the Rittenhouse trial because it hurt their side, right? So him not coming in was a favor to them, I think, in a way.
Yeah.
What's going on, Saber Wolf?
Hey, just popped in. So what I miss?
Yeah, we're just talking about things and stuff and preps and where you're at. Ooh, there's a gunshot outside just then. You hear that?
Yeah, actually, I don't know if it's fireworks or gunshots half the time in my neighborhood. So
Hopefully it's fireworks. I don't know.
but no, I don't know. At least a bit of positive news this week. I got a bonus from work, so I decided to jump in with the rest of the minions and be a lemming, and I ordered a Hellion.
A Hellion?
Yeah, the VHS 2, the Springfield Hellion.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's all I got going on, really.
I've been thinking about getting another AK, and I don't know why.
Yeah, I kind of got some extra parts lying around, another furniture kit, and I've been thinking about, just ordering just some parts kit or something like that.
AK parts kit I wouldn't want to fuck with. I just want to buy an AK. Fuck a parts kit. Like, let someone who has the tools and the know-how and, the manufacturer stamp of approval with, potential to get it fixed if something's wrong with it behind it versus a parts kit that you put together. Something's fucked up, you got to fix it. You fuck it up fixing it, it's your baby.
Yeah, I don't know, just kind of want to increase the challenge, I've done a few 80%, and then, I obviously started off doing just regular AR builds, just swapping parts together and stuff, but then did some 80% and then kind of, I don't know, want to up the challenge a little bit each time type of thing.
So what are you guys worried about here in the next little bit that you're getting ready for right now? Like, what is it that you're saving money for, or you're spending time learning or time on in your house or your yard or whatever doing? Like, anything that you guys are doing right now?
I'm actually working on homesteading right now. My uncle's property, I'm pre-mortis inherited it over there down south, so I'm just maintaining that property. And then actually right now I'm actually starting to put in the caissons for the foundation for just a kit house. So just doing that. Yeah.
How much do kit houses cost?
It's about $30,000 is going to be total. That includes kind of the plumbing, electrical work and stuff like that. I'm using a lot of reclaimed material. So that's kind of where I've been off to, why I've been missing from your chats, because I've been going up every weekend. Well, going down every weekend to that. So it's a 6-hour drive there and a 6-hour drive back. But I've just been doing that. There's water on the property. Now, as far as water rights and stuff like that, there's some because it's unincorporated property, it's considered federally protected water source, so we can't really do anything. But in other words, I can't block the flow of water there, but there is, doing rain and snow reclamation. So which I know is not exactly quote unquote legal, but there's some homesteading precedents for that. What else? Yeah, so just been doing that. So just got the caissons augured out and put those in this last weekend. So yeah, now just it looks like the concrete's cured. So yeah, we're just starting on that.
What are you doing, Leo?
Nothing.
That sucks.
Yep. Not a damn thing. Well,
Are you
I'm
ammo?
Sitting back
actually,
being a spectator.
I'm actually redoing my bug out bag. That's mostly what I've been redoing now. But other than that, so that's about it.
You need a bug out bag to get to like the middle of Iowa somewhere. To a cornfield and a fucking farmer who needs help.
No, I'll pick you up. You're close enough to me. I'll come get you.
Oh, that's the plan.
All right.
Get to the border. I'll come pick you up. You come hang out with me up here. You be safe.
All right.
Everyone
Angry-
head to Duke's house.
Anger's coming. I got you too, baby. Don't worry. I got a whole route. We'll pick
But there's-
everybody up.
But there's a whole cornfield of aliens there, man. I'm scared.
Oh, we got it. We got that shit. Lockdown. It's growing. The corn is growing.
Yeah,
So-
that's when it's fucking scary because you can't see in there.
I know. We passed
Did you
by
see
it.
signs?
Yeah, we passed by it today, and my wife was like, "Oh, the corn's looking good," and I'm like, "You talk like you have a vested interest in this, like we don't own the corn, like we don't own any of it. That's not our corn." I'm just like, "Oh, corn's looking good." I'm like, "Listen here, woman.
I'm sure she's not a communist. It's all our corn.
It's our corn."
Shit hits when shit hits the fan, that corn would be off.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not a bad town.
Right.
Good little.
I know I'm still looking for at least a little bit more of medical supplies.
Mhm.
Like I think that's what mostly I need for my kid right now.
That's good. No, medical supplies is super important. Like, do you have any water filter systems? Like, even if like let's just say, hypothetical, the grid goes down, or you live in Flint, Michigan. Have you thought about getting any Sawyers or any portable water systems?
Did I have one of them life straws? I think I might have a life straw, but actual like a filter system, no.
No, actually, here I have one. Actually, just sitting right next to my bag. But here, I'll just show you real quick. So, yeah, one of these.
That's
Yeah, I've got several of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, like those I don't have yet.
Yeah, they're like $20 at Walmart, man. They go out of stock pretty fast, so I would go snag one if I were you. Did the Avs
Definitely
win?
could have.
I don't know. Did they? They didn't.
Yeah. Colorado won. Colorado won the Stanley Cup.
They won the cup. There you go. That was one of the reasons why work sucked so bad the other night, because they went into like 2 overtime fucking periods or whatever, and everyone was there forever. And oh my god, dude, I was so fucking tired. Shit's rough.
That's why you're probably hearing the gunshots now.
Yeah, I bet you're probably right. That's got to be fireworks, not gunshots, because I've heard about
both
5-10 of them in the last couple minutes.
Yeah, I the same over here. I just presume it's fireworks. Everyone went up to Wyoming and brought them back. It's the week of the Wyoming trip.
Be a good night to go out and test out your new 22 or something.
Well, I did get that new. I got two new I got an Echo Trigger and a Fostech. I got another Fostech Echo AR2 and another Franklin. Just stacking deep because I have a couple other builds I'm going to be starting, and I don't like the way the bellwether is with I don't know, gun laws and stuff. Like I was just didn't want to risk it, so I just threw money at parts I thought they would go after first.
Does the new Franklin have an override mechanism so it doesn't outrun the bolt?
So let me grab it. All right. So I'm looking at it. It's the flat trigger one.
Oh,
God, I wish you saw
Oh.
more of that in 2020 riots. Oh man, that would have been awesome.
I've actually did that to myself
Oh, dude.
with the bat. Bounced right back onto my head.
What is this dude doing?
Seems like smart stuff to me, dude.
Oh my gosh! Look at this dude. Yo, I think we have some OSHA. I think OSHA's gonna come visit this dude.
I don't think he's in an OSHA country.
I think,
I
yeah.
think you're right. Yes.
Here's the thing. I think he's under 18, which means you're showing a child about to die.
Jesus Christ, fuck you.
Have you seen those
Yeah, but-
dudes with those rubber hammers, or they have sledgehammers, but they're like rubber. The handles, they move. You seen that?
Yeah.
It's crazy. What the hell is that all about?
Wendy Howler says, "Welcome back. Could you give a brief, non-strikeable synopsis of why you got a strike?" Well, there were two things that happened. Number one, what Matt just said. We were watching Twitter videos, actually, and there was a car crash with a kid, and the kid got hurt. He wasn't killed, but he was hurt in the car crash. And I was just scrolling through videos, and that was one of them. And I got a strike for that. And then the other strike was that happened, and so I took all of my videos down because I was like, fuck, they're looking at me, they're going to give me another strike. And then I started reposting, like I'd look through them, like a couple videos at a time. I'd look through them and make sure there wasn't anything crazy in there, and I'd repost them. Well, one of the videos that I reposted, I guess at some point we were talking about some COVID stuff or something, and said something that the algorithm didn't like, and I got another strike for that. And the thing was, that was a video that was already posted, that was already like good to go, that YouTube had already accepted, that I then made private, didn't do anything to, reposted, and then YouTube was like, "Oh, actually, now that we look at it, go fuck yourself." So I've actually got a whole fuck ton of videos that are private still that I'm probably never going to repost for that reason. But anyway, that is a synopsis of the situation. All right, let's see what this crazy fucking lady has to say about Roe versus Wade getting overturned. 1 minute video.
It's all right. It's all right. I feel that way too. It's all right. We feel that way together. Let it out. Let it out.
Oh, whoa.
Boo.
That's some demonic possession right there.
Holy cow.
Whoa.
How much we
That
still got?
escalated quickly.
No.
We still got 30 seconds of this left, bro. We still got 30 seconds. Sorry.
When she said let it out, it was like when Jed told all the boys to let it out when they saw their parents get killed in Red Dawn, when they're having the crying scene.
Yes.
Let it turn to something else. Like that's what
Use it.
Use it.
Use it.
All right, let's watch the other 30 seconds of this.
No.
Everybody wants to show the happy side. I'm mad as hell today!
God damn.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, have you ever seen people record TikToks? They look ridiculous. So I want to see like her neighbors like, shut the fuck up, Karen.
Yeah, her front door is wide open. You can
Yeah.
see it. She didn't even bother to shut the door to let the neighbors fucking like not fucking hear her crazy screaming.
Yeah.
They probably called the cops thinking she was in distress.
Somebody's beating Karen. Somebody's favor.
I didn't know that D. Snyder cared so much about abortion like that.
Oh, God.
911. Yes, my neighbor Karen is having some issues.
Yeah, I don't think she's doing okay. Y'all might want to send somebody over there to check her out.
Well,
She
again,
needs
dude,
a welfare check.
like people who have this kind of reaction, it's like something else is going on here, right? Like
Yeah.
something in your life is terribly, terribly wrong, and you're using this as an excuse to be able to vent all of that. Like this is a blow off valve for all of the other shit that's boiling over in your life.
Oh
And this-
yeah, this is yeah.
And this
It's
lady
just-
has quite a big pot, apparently.
Yeah, she just found out her husband left her and her boyfriend got her pregnant and she was going to have an abortion. And this went to shit for her. So
Crap.
Just a bad day. It was a bad fucking day.
We got
It's the
20
same
seconds
like.
left. All right, let's do it.
But because I have responsibilities, I'm gonna do these freaking dishes. Ooh.
Yo,
Damn right, you better do them dishes.
she's finally
Your
being-
responsibilities.
What is she talking about? A dish.
Oh, that's it. Okay.
She's just some lonely cat lady with like stale wine breath, just like that Karen from Canada, the HR lady.
She's probably washing out styrofoam plates.
Yeah, her one dish and her like her giant wine goblet.
Okay, so there was this great video that I saw that was a bunch of like liberal dudes who were for pro-choice. And they're like, I want you to be able to have an abortion so I don't have to raise the kid. I'm like, oh, it's really meant
Same
for
here.
talking
I'm
about.
with that.
Well, and there's an argument to be made, like in the whole abortion situation, like shouldn't the father of the child have some say in the whole situation? Because after all, if the mother keeps the child, then he's basically on the hook for an 18-year fucking bill that he's got to pay. And I'm not saying, you know, you do the
But
crime,
wait,
crime, but
it's her body, her choice, though, right?
And
right,
it's my
right.
money, my
as
choice.
Dave Chappelle once said, it's my money, it's my choice.
Exactly. Yeah, this is just, I don't know. It's just at the end of the day, it's just like people wanted zero accountability or consequences, you know, in life, and they try to do anything they can to circumvent that. And yeah, accountability or consequences, you know, in life, and
What happened?
I have no idea what that was.
That line was so good you wanted to say it again.
Nope. That was weird.
What happened? Oh no, very good. Well, shit, man. What else is going on in Twitter world?
The funniest one I've seen out of this whole thing is a bunch of leftist chicks saying they're going to do a sex strike now, and I'm like, thanks, we appreciate that.
If you praise a woman who aborted her child because she did what was best for herself, then I hope you praise men for abandoning their children because they did what was best for themselves. There you go. That says it right there.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Dems pause January 6th hearings to call for insurrection. That is so fucking true right now.
I mean, isn't that why they did their own little insurrection like a year before the alleged insurrection for like the Kavanaugh hearing? I mean, just yeah, their hypocrisy is showing.
And remind you, I'm still pro-choice, but I still find the outrage so good.
Well, I mean, it's just like obviously the hyperbolic nature of it. All it did was just kick out bad law that's been in place for 50 years because the case, like even the woman who was Roe, like came forward and said that, you know, that this stuff never happened, or, you know, she was just basically, she was in a bad place. She was this drug addicted woman who, you know, was like, yeah, sure, I'll sign up for this thing. It's in the book, I Am Roe. I don't know if you've ever had a chance to read it, but it's worth a read. And she kind of has a huge amount of regret and stuff. So basically she admitted to perjury, which should have kicked the case out completely.
Didn't
All it
she
did is just
have the child?
Yeah, she did. By the time it went to
Mhm.
court, she had the kid because it was still illegal at the time.
And didn't she later say that she's glad that she didn't end up having an abortion?
Yep.
And also, wasn't it basically illegal in every single state before Roe versus Wade on some level or another to have an abortion?
Yes.
And also, wasn't it illegal in English common law, which is the law that our law is based upon, to have an abortion?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. All of those things are true. Roe versus Wade was the first time that it has ever been fucking completely legal and safe or whatever the fuck they want to fucking say, right? But it's always been something that people have been against generally, and it's been pretty much agreed upon as a species that killing unborn babies is a bad thing. You know, like you don't want to do that. And moreover, who are the group of people who were most for abortions in the first place? Well, it turns out the eugenics movement, people like Margaret Sanger, who founded Planned Parenthood as a method to disproportionately abort black children in this country to control the population.
Yep. And look at the countries who adopted it, like China. You really think that's a really good example of a governmental system of healthcare that's in the interest of the individual?
Jesus.
Whoa.
The fuck was that? Goddamn music.
This is like a nice Michael Bay movie.
Guys hauling fireworks for the avalanche.
There we go. I'm coming back from Wyoming. Oh shit.
The fuck was he hauling? That thing was ready to blow up.
Was a
Ready to
gas
blow up.
tanker?
Did y'all see that video someone posted in Matt's Discord where guys were in like a machine shop and it looked like a pipe burst and everything caught on fire and then seconds later the whole fucking roof starts collapsing?
Guess that would be a no.
Yeah, I guess so.
Talking about. Ooh, look at all those AKs.
It'd be fun if I had a giggle switch.
Zastava. I don't know what the rest of these are, but Zastava.
I like my Z-Pap.
Everyone's got an AK with Leo.
Oh man, that's
Fuck
something
all
we
of
need a fix for.
Well, I know I've got one. I'm pretty sure Duke's got one. Corey, you got an AK, right?
No, I have an SKS.
Oh, well, you can hang out with Leo in the fucking apocalypse with your non-AKs.
I do plan on getting an AK soon, though. I just, with everything else, I'm kind of financially tapped from buying a house to getting a new car, getting some new furniture for the house,
That makes sense.
trying to stock up on food and water, and been buying some precious metal lately.
Smart.
Maybe I should be in downtown Denver right now. Look at this shit.
Oh, that's nice.
That's 16th Street Mall, I think.
Yeah, yeah. You see the bridge over it? Yeah, that's 16. Yeah, there's Cormies.
Which means that the restaurant owners who paid for those chairs. Savage dropped in $10. Says, "Yay, Honda's back on YouTube, dude. It's been an 80 goddamn days since I did a actual YouTube live stream video thing. So it's nice to be back, and I promised myself I wouldn't cry."
Go ahead, let it out. Then after that, just do the dishes.
Oh man. Oh.
I gotta do these dishes. Still got responsibilities.
What, to feed our cats?
Well, I mean, A haunted womb has to do something with her life, doesn't she?
Yeah, and the thing is, so like going back to what you said though, like even the people who are super pro-choice, they even acknowledge their own like stigma of like, I've never had an abortion, but like I totally support it. I mean, you do have the extreme ones that claim to have like 21 or whatever, like that shirt you shared, that lady with that shirt, but like, most of the real life people I run into who are super pro-choice are then, I mean, but like I'm for sure I've never had one. They make sure to have that caveat. I've never had one, but even they know that there's this like just a general stigma. It's like no one really wants to. I think it just takes you out of the mating, out of the mating pool. That is really cool.
I don't necessarily agree that government should be putting themselves into people's lives when it comes to even things like abortion. But at the same time, I don't think government should be facilitating fucking like anything to do with abortion at all, right? Like they shouldn't pay a fucking single red penny for that shit at all.
Exactly.
Period. And moreover, there needs to be, in my opinion, like social mechanisms that make people not want to get an abortion because of the ostracism that they might receive from people, depending on the reasoning behind it. As in, if you're having an abortion because you're not able to keep the baby because it's going to kill you, like no one's going to be that upset at you. But if you have an abortion because you like to drink on Friday nights and you'd like to sleep in, like maybe your neighbors should probably look at you a little differently. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I absolutely know what you're saying. There's like that's like the complexity of the issue. And I agree with you about government should, the most the government should be involved in is like, a lot of people like to think being a libertarian is like, I should own a tactical nuke, but really what it is just, the government at most should be in charge of like, traffic signals and like, making sure that, the roads are okay. But like, they really should not be facilitating and, doing these, being part of any sort of social engineering, basically. Like anything that is part of that, like the Department of Education, like the NEA. Look how well that's worked out for us since that started.
It worked about like that.
Ooh.
Jesus.
Did y'all see Dick's Sporting Goods response to Roe v. Wade being overturned?
Oh my God. Yeah, they're saying they'll give free abortions to people, but the thing about that is, first of all, Dick's Sporting Goods, so fuck you, Mr. Anti-gun company or whatever, sporting goods company that's fucking anti-gun, go fuck yourself. Second of all, as a corporation, what do you think costs them more? To pay for an abortion or to pay for maternity leave and health care for a child?
Yeah, they're saying they'll give $4,000 to anyone for traveling fees, expenses, and everything.
Yeah, as long as they show up for work on Monday. Yeah. to work the register. Like that's, I mean, look at it like, I mean, you have to look like what is the motive behind it. It's just this, this giant corporate thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't got all the answers. I do know that.
I charge $300 per wire hanger. Just letting you know now.
Well, do you remember when they were first talking about, I forget what it was, like some sort of abortion thing that they were talking about, and CNN started talking about how you could take these two combination of horse pills that would give you an abortion like 99% of the time, and if you just took the one, it was like 90% effective, but if you use the two together, and that they're completely over-the-counter buyable if you just go to a horse store or something. And that was the same people who were just, I don't know, months before that talking about like ivermectin and all that shit and how, like how stupid Joe Rogan is for taking a horse dewormer.
Yeah, it's, yeah.
Well, again, it's okay when they do it.
Well, I mean, the hypocrisy is ridiculous.
Yeah, the hypocrisy showing.
It's just
no one wants to like on their side acknowledge, like, just take a moment and to think, like they just want to toe the line and say the same things. They don't think for themselves. All they do is regurgitate the same talking points that the TV told them to say. I mean, I don't know. It's just like one of those things. It's like, to me, it's not even worth arguing with anybody over unless they're actually willing to have an open conversation and think for themselves.
Night Strike, what are you doing? Wow. Okay.
What's that barbarian video about?
He says Roe versus Wade was overturned.
Oh.
What should we do?
It's a really small window on my phone, so.
I'm angry.
You also got beer gut there, buddy.
Yeah, seriously.
little pasty and pudgy for me to really be threatened with your melee weapon.
Oh, can't show that on YouTube. Gun prices. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no.
So this is so okay with the Roe v. Wade thing, but with the concealed carry ramifications of so the NRA versus New York or whatever, right? With that case that happened, though, actually didn't it set legal precedent now that like all gun law should be viewed historically through the Second Amendment and not off of common law or common safety, in which the NFA and other pretty much every gun legislation and restriction has passed.
I don't know. I think we're going to have a lot of court decisions having to do with the Second Amendment that are beneficial to people who want to either have things that are now restricted or carry things that they can't because of rules and reasons. Is this attempted murder? The guy had a can of fucking hairspray and sprayed it towards the cops. Didn't even burn anybody, doesn't look like. And they're charging him with attempted murder with a $1 million. Like, I'm not saying you should go around spraying fucking fire spray paint at police officers. It's probably not a good idea. But attempted murder? I don't know.
Didn't California come out and say something basically that they weren't going to listen to SCOTUS's ruling?
Yeah,
that they were going
but
to keep restricting.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, Newsom did come out and say that. But the thing is, though, ultimately it'll be reshuffled around anyway, because they could say that all they want, but something you really don't fuck with is kind of, federal authority. That was like literally the whole point of the Civil War was, federal like supersedes state, and that's what happened. So as much as they want to kick and whine about something, it's just what, for example, 50 years ago, like Roe v. Wade, there's a lot of states that did not want abortion or have Planned Parenthoods and stuff, but because federal jurisdiction had precedent over over states' laws. That's why that happened. So it's just the first time in, I guess you say, in our lifetimes, like where it's kind of flipped the other way. So it'd be interesting to see if because now the constitutionality of viewing things through the Second Amendment, all these lawsuits, will Washington get there in Colorado and New York and most of the East Coast and California, will we get our, standard capacity magazines back? That type of thing, or now that it's a shall issue instead of a may issue, it also does rebolster the rights, natural rights.
How's that going to work in DC? Is DC going to have to start issuing permits finally?
I believe it, District of Columbia is included, but DC is its own weird thing, and that's one of the reasons why the people who are, it should be the 51st state, is they're pretty dumb, because the thing is they have exactly everything they want already.
Well, they basically, the Supreme Court ruling, if I'm not wrong, basically says that may issue states have it wrong and cannot do that. Everyone has to be shall issue. And there's certain stipulations that are constitutional as to what regards as the people, and that means citizen, and that means law abiding, right? Like you can't be a felon, and that's about it. Like other than that, they can't restrict you from being able to bear arms, which means carry a weapon. They can regulate the manner in which you do it, right? They can say like, well, you can open carry but no concealed carry, or they can say like concealed carry but no open carry, or whatever combination or whatever it is that they want to do. But if someone meets the criteria of being a human being, citizen, law-abiding non-felon of the United States, then they don't have any way to stop you from applying for and receiving a fucking carry license if you need one.
Right.
Well, and they specifically mentioned Heller in this ruling, which was Heller v. Washington, D.C. So, yes, this would apply to people in Washington as well.
Well, and moreover, fucking God damn it, I just had it and then you talked. Never mind.
God damn me. God, I'm such a fucking asshole.
You're like, why do I even have you on the chats anymore?
I don't know, man.
Well, can I ask though, like, because when I was thinking of DC, I was thinking of like they still want to have in place sensitive zones as long as it's not to what's the word? It's like overstepping the boundaries of it. But isn't Washington DC itself kind of declared, because there's so many quote unquote sensitive areas, like the Pentagon, the White House, et cetera, like you can't conceal carry in those places. Unless you're like on the approved list, like Secret Service or something.
I mean, but what they're going to do is, like, you'll be able to get a permit, but you won't be able to carry nowhere anyway.
Well, I mean, they can already regulate that you cannot carry in like inside of a federal building. So maybe they could draw some lines arbitrarily that say like, okay, well, this is considered federal building.
But then there's the subways, bus stops, schools, parks, which is basically all of New York. So once you step outside, you can't carry nowhere.
Well, and I think that's why they included in the ruling, though, it says within reason. Like, even though the problem is like the decision, they left a lot of minutia and gray area open. Like they said, it should not be exorbitant, like you can't declare the entire city of New York or Manhattan Island as a sensitive area, right?
Right. What they do is they leave a little strip where you will be allowed, because they try to do that in Chicago. Is a little strip of an area within the city limits where you'll be able to carry, and that's about it. They tried to do that, it didn't work. But like New York, it's a whole different city, something different. They'll probably be able to get away with it.
Yeah. Well, they might do it like anywhere like in each borough. You can't do it, and you can't carry in this borough, but you can in this borough, and something dumb like that. I don't know.
Well, they're trying to make it so that, like, for instance, if you live in Sacramento, right? You live in like Northern California somewhere, and you want to get a concealed weapons license, you can get it up there. It's not. I don't think it's that difficult to do. Like, you got to jump through some hoops and then you have it, right? If you live in Los Angeles and you want to get a concealed weapons license, you better have some connections and some money, because otherwise you're not getting it.
Oh yeah, like remember that story that broke like last year? That was somebody had to donate $350,000 to a sheriff's re-election campaign to get a concealed carry in San Diego in Poway. And it's like San Diego's a place where I think, I would definitely need a concealed carry. All those drug cartel traffickers, it's like, that's definitely a place I would definitely need protection.
You know what's funny to me about all of these Avs people?
Hmm.
How many of them watched like any other games this entire year? How many of those people bought those jerseys like last week?
They all knew, no stains on it whatsoever.
Yeah, like they all have like current players jerseys. Like, you don't see any like Sakic jerseys or Patrick Waugh jerseys or Claude Lemieux jerseys or anybody else. They're all
Forsberg,
like McKinnon or whatever the fuck his name is.
Landeskog. Everywhere. Yeah. No, that's true. They're all like current.
I met the goalie for the Avalanche, like the current goalie. He came in,
Francois or what's the other one?
the Russian guy.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, he came in with his family for his stepdaughter's birthday, I think is what it was.
That's pretty cool.
Ooh.
I remember when the Blackhawks won 3 of them, like almost in a row. That was a great time.
God, there's naked people everywhere.
Always naked people.
So to go back to the Bruin case for a minute, New York City specifically, to even start the concealed carry process there, it's something like $4,000 to $5,000, and it's only a 30-day valid thing for you have to get a class taken, and all the way up to your concealed carry within that time. Otherwise, you're paying that money again every 30 days.
Yeah.
Well, my Twitter's full of nothing but gay pride parades and apparently monkeys eating bananas and Avalanche stuff. That is a lot of monkeys.
I find this racist.
The hell? It's in India.
Why? Because it's a Suzuki?
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, we're going about an hour and a half, which is about how far we normally go for the Gay Frog chat. I appreciate everyone on the panel for showing up and everyone out there in the chat for watching tonight. Next week, okay, so this is how I want to do it. I work Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Saturday, I'm going to be super tired, so I'm going to try to sleep and then wake up and eat a snack and then go back to sleep and then do some other stuff and then go back to sleep again. And then at some point on Saturday, late afternoon to evening, I will start the 24-hour chat. And we will go until the same time on Sunday night. So that is the plan as of right now. That's the next chat that I'm doing on the channel. So we'll see you guys then for that. Matt's chat tomorrow night. Someone was going to say something.
Get your Depends ready.
Well, I do have a bathroom that's right there. I don't have to like sit here and shit because I'm live streaming. But maybe, I don't know. Maybe
What's the fun in that?
The people want to see what they want to see. Okay. Don't deny the people what they want.
It's gonna be rough, dude. I'm not gonna lie and be like this is gonna be a breeze because it's not. I mean, the only things that I have to get me through it are caffeine and caffeine.
Oh, sorry.
Well, weed doesn't really help you stay awake. It, kind of does the opposite, to be honest. But there'll be some of that too, to be honest. It's okay. Anyway, guys, we'll see you tomorrow night for the free for all chat on Never Enough Buttholes channel. I mean, Ammo.
No, you were right the first time.
And we'll see you guys then. Peace out. Peace.
Later.
Peace.